the weight also doesn't feel like an issue.
Because you have your feet down securely, no. But can you get away from the impression that this is a heavy bike? No, not at all. Because it is lower to the ground. So ground clearance is a little bit lower also in the process. But again, it's a street bike, so it doesn't need the Himalayan's massive ground clearance. The side stand is now a reasonable size.
And this is obviously on alloys.
This is also on 17-inch alloys. It's lower to the ground. So when you put the side stand on, the bike immediately doesn't go to sleep like the Himalayan. And all that people struggling to get the Himalayan up and all that drama is not going to happen. Is it a light bike though? No, it's not. It is reasonably well balanced. So it's not going to constantly bug you. Once you're on the move, I was surprised to find that our first unit was running quite badly, fueling very poorly. And there is an issue here because Royal Enfield's teams keep telling us that these are production motorcycles, but all the signs and symbols say that these are pre-production motorcycles, so there's a little bit of a confusion there. So for example, none of these bikes have the stickers that say read your manual, this is your air pressure, chain adjustment, which are normal. None of these bikes have them. So I'm assuming pre-production. When it starts running badly, I'm saying pre-production. Royal Enfield's teams are saying, no, this is production. So I get fully confused. But then I found out what has happened. In those pre-production units, there was a certain set of clutches that were slightly out of tolerance and that would cause the bike to jerk because the connections weren't clear. So we got the second bike. The second bike, it's much smoother than the Himalayan. Not smooth. I'm not saying smooth, okay? Don't get me wrong. It is smoother.
Same kind of rev range where the...
Same kind of rev range, including a small spike in the vibration right in the middle where you won't want it.
Correct.
But significantly smoother than the Himalayan overall, which I was happy to see. So if you ride it in the Himalayan mode, which is, stay under 5,000 RPM, it's very quick. You're not carrying a lot of revs, but you're not going very slowly either. The Guerrilla feels a lot smoother. Since the engine is the same, if they have figured out a map that solves a little bit of the vibration, I'm hoping they put it back to the Himalayan also.
Oh, so even through that, it's cleaner?
Yeah. And then 6 onwards, it is again cleaner. Like again on the Himalayan, there was a spike and it came back. Same. And therefore, it has that same weirdness where from 80 to 100, you're okay. But 120, you're like, oh, so smooth again. So that weird, I want to ride here, but this is where the maximum amount of vibration thing is also on the Guerrilla. It's just at a much lower level than the Himalayan. So I think a lot fewer people will be bugged by it. Now, if you've tested a Guerrilla and a Himalayan, do let us know if this is our test bike feeling better or this is all Guerillas feeling better. It is really important. So if you leave us a comment, I tested the Guerrilla, it's better or worse than the Himalayan on this front, it will really help the others. Okay. So again, no surprises. When you do this, the airbox noise is amazing. The gearbox is very, very slick. Slip and assist clutch, and it's slightly further tuned from the Himalayan. So the clutch effort is a little bit lighter, but it's still not the lightest in the class. For that, you have to have, I think, a CB350 or a Triumph 400, which have some of the lightest clutches, not this. Will it bug you in traffic? No, I don't think so. But in the same way, just like the Himalayan, below 3000 RPM in traffic, it struggles a little bit. Once you get past 3000 RPM, then there is abundant torque and you never really struggle with torque again. What you'll really enjoy about this bike is it really comes on. And the economy mode basically softens throttle response in the first 2 or 3 gears. And the idea is that it gives you a small fuel economy benefit, but as you get higher in the speed range, there is no real fundamental benefit. And it is designed each gear at a time. So I was asking them that why didn't you also do a much lower setting in, say, the 6th, so that once you're out on the highway and cruising, then sort of like overdrive plus, you could just bring the economy up and give me even more range. And to that they said we didn't think it was required because the rider's hand will do that much modulation and those speeds it may not make much of a difference. But in the bottom 3 gears in the city where you'd want to save some amount of fuel, switching to economy mode might give you an advantage. Don't get carried away by this. The last time Royal Enfield said this, the total difference wasn't even 10%. So there is a small difference. It will not be major. That is a clip from MotorInc. And what that means is if you'd like to see more of these, you can do 2 things. One is stay on this channel, subscribe and watch more, or you can come to the main MotorInc channel where you'll find a much longer video that discusses this idea in a lot more detail.